Hello everyone, and welcome to Super Championship Racing's Coca-Cola 600. I'm Eric Robertson, and I'll be broadcasting tonight. We're wrapping up practice now. The drivers are in the drivers' meeting, and we'll get qualification underway here in about 8 minutes. And then the race begins at the top of the hour. Looks like we're going to have a field of maybe a dozen for tonight's race. We're looking at 200 laps here today at Charlotte for the Coke 600. So in for tonight's race, we're going to have Jason O'Connor in the 000 car, black U.S. Army paint, and the number 3 car of Jim Westerfield, driving the red Coca-Cola paint. He took second place last week in the All-Star race. Not sure what's up with the 8 car of Anthony Thitchner. He's showing up right now as his green 11 car, but I have him as a number 8 red Bud paint today. I may not get the updated paints, though, until they roll off the grid. At least start qualifying. Current points leader, the 42 car of Dakota Sadilek. He's driving the red Target Mellow Yellow. And Scotty Brown, I still need his paint loaded, but he will be running the number 2 Gold Miller Lite car, the same one that he took 3rd place last week in the All-Star race. Matthew Almany is in the blue Air Force number 43 car. John Caudle is in the 07 black, red, and blue Marine Corps Reserve car. Nick Gillis is driving the number 9 red Dodge. Jason Wallet driving the 48 blue Lowe's. Douglas Hess has the 29 Goodwrench car. And Joey Stats in the number 22 Bass Pro Shop orange and white car. So that's 11 cars there on the grid. 11 cars, I should say, on pit road right now. James Lehman and Trevor Warwick have also registered, and we'll see if they bring their cars in. Now about 3 minutes away from the beginning of qualifying, which will bring you right here live. Jason Wallet, Douglas Hess, and Joey Stats will not be qualifying on the grid. The remaining cars will all participate. 8 qualifiers and 11 total entries, maybe up to 13 cars for the Coke 600 today. Or tonight, rather. This is another night race. We had the All-Star race last week, also under the lights. This is still the practice session. Less than about a minute away from qualification. There's Joey Stats heading out on the track, the number 22 car. And the checkered flag has been thrown on practice, and we will head into the qualification session now. So let's see how these drivers. Here's Anthony Thitchner. There's the number 8 red Bud car. He's out first to qualify. All the cars are running in independent sessions tonight. We also have Scotty Brown heading out of the track in the gold number 2 Miller Lite car. And John Caudle is also heading out. Let's go live to Anthony Thitchner's lap as he gets the green on the first of 2 qualifying laps. Dakota Sadilek and Jim Westerfield are out on the track now. We're still here with Andy Thitchner. He will get his times in first. Now completing his first quali lap at 28.385. We'll be looking at the second ones though. Undoubtedly the faster of the two. 27.752 is his result. Nick Geilis currently third, 27.879. Here's Matthew Almany in the 43 Blue Air Force car. I think he is on his second qual lap now, putting a fast time down on the first, faster than Anthony's. (27.921) is going to put him in fifth on the grid. And we have 6 cars that have qualified now. Anthony Thitchener sitting on the pole right now with the 27.752. And John Caudle in second. Outside row 1 with a .767. Nick Geilis in third, 27.879. Then Jim Westerfield. Then Scotty Brown and Dakota Sadalek. Looks like Trevor Warwick is lined up. I don't know that he is set to qualify, though. I believe he did not put the required laps down in practice, so he may just be sitting there. Sorry. Almany starting fifth, and then Brown and Sadalek. Having a little display issue on my end, but we have 7 cars qualified right now. You can see the intervals. And I don't have O'Connor's information either. It looks like he's qualified 8th. So those are the 8 that were expected to qualify, and then we have 3 more who will be joining in the back of the field, I believe. Wirt and Hess and Wallet. And stats. Looks like we will have 12. O'Connor is driving the 000 car showing up on the screen as the number sign. And we're now less than 4 minutes away from the grid to start this race. We're getting ready here on Super Championship Racing for the start of the Coca-Cola 600. In just a couple minutes, the drivers will begin gridding. Alright, and it is race time here in Charlotte for the Coca-Cola 600. The drivers will begin gridding up. Switch over into race mode, and here they come on the track. Take the top 10 off, that's not right. And we'll look, the pole sitter is going to be the number 8 car, not yet there on the field, of Anthony Fitchner. Outside row 1. Alright, inside row 1 we're waiting for Anthony Fitchner. Outside row 1, John Caudle. Inside row 2, the number 9 car of Nick Gillis. There's Anthony on the pole. Nick Gillis inside row 2. Outside row 2, the number 3 of Jim Westerfield. Outside row 3, inside row 3, number 43 car of Matthew Almany. Outside, Scotty Brown in the number 2 gold Miller Lite car. Outside row 4, the number 42 car of Dakota Sadalek. And inside of him, the triple yellow black U.S. Army car of Jason O'Connor. Joey Stats is starting from the pits. And here comes the field. Cleaning up the field there is the 29 car of Douglas Hess and the 48 of Jason Wallet. And in the back is the 62 car of Trevor Warwick, and here they come to start. Anthony Thitchner taking the green flag at the Coke 600 now, entering turn 1. Anthony Thitchner out to a huge lead to start us off down the backstretch. That's Nick Geilis in second and John Caudle in third there. Nick Geilis holding off John Caudle down into the tri-oval to complete the first lap. Coming down the back stretch, John Caudle's making a move on the inside and moves into second place, completing lap 2. Anthony Thitchner, though, still way out in front by almost a second. Really pulling away from the field now. John Caudle in second, Nick Geilis in third. And in fourth place, Scotty Brown. There's the battle for fifth place as Matthew Almany moves on the inside of Jim Westerfield. And it's Jason O'Connor in behind in seventh now. Looking for sixth place on the inside. Jim Westerfield falls back 2 positions. Anthony Thitchner still your leader here. Coming down the backstretch on lap 5. John Caudle has closed the lead a little bit on him. Looks to be gaining. John Caudle there in the 07 car in second place. Behind him there you see Nick Geilis and Scotty Brown, and Matthew Almany in fifth. Rounding up the top 5. Back through the field, Jason O'Connor, Dakota Sadalek, Jim Westerfield. Then Trevor Warwick in 9th place, Jason Willott in 10th, and then Douglas Heth in 11th, and Joey Statz is up and running a lap down in 12th. And now we have Caudle is caught up with the leader, Anthony Thitchner. Coming down the backstretch, Caudle closing the gap. Caudle making the pass on the inside here, coming through the tri-oval. And we have a new leader, John Caudle, on lap 9. Caudle looks like he has some momentum here, and we'll see if he can pull away from Anthony Thitchner. Caudle continues to lead this race. Anthony Thitchner is not going anywhere, though, staying right on his bumper. When Caudle got around, I think it was Nick Geilis for third, he really closed up on Thitchner quickly. Now that he's past him, he can't get away. And the two continue to run 1 and 2 here. Thitchner now right on Caudle's bumper. Thitchner getting some speed on the high side. Coming through the back stretch, too wide. Thitchner makes the pass on the high side, and he's back in the lead here on lap 14. Thitchner's open back up a half second. And we have Scotty Brown in third now. Caudle's falling back from Thitchner in second, and we'll see if Brown can catch up. And these three guys are kind of in front on their own. You can see the gap back to Albany. Thitchner's pulling away from Caudle, and Caudle is pulling away from Brown. 1, 2, 3, spreading out. There is a battle going on back for 6, though. Jason O'Connor in the 000 and Jim Westerfield in the 3.
What's up, Eric?
Hey, how you doing, Nick?
I'm rejoining you. Car got way too tight coming off of 2, smacked the wall, and he's done for.
Sorry, I didn't even see it.
It's whatever. So it's disappointing because he's really enjoying the car, but a little bit. It really looked like it was going to be a good night, and then just out of nowhere got extremely tight and decided to smack the wall. So move on to Dover for me. I'm here to actually compete at Darlington. I'll be here for that, so I'll join the booth. But overall, looking pretty good. Anthony's got a good car. Cottle's got a good car. Scotty's got a really good car. Happy about what he can do, and I will say you got to watch out for Jason. He's pretty fast. The three's got some speed stats if he can get back on the lead lap. Although he does look like he has some damage. I don't know what's done, but I think he's done the same thing.
Jason and Jim right now are battling for 5th place.
Yep, about 5 seconds now.
Currently, Jason's got it, but they've traded back and forth a couple times here.
Oh, you mean like me and Cottle did at the beginning? I will say it does look like Cottle might have burnt his tires off. That is one thing that John has worked on to improve, but still manages to not pull off the way he probably needs to.
Well, Fitchner took off at the beginning of this race and really took off and left the field. And Cottle worked his way up and managed to catch him and take the lead. But now nobody's catching Fitchner again. He's found his speed again.
Well, I don't think he really left me and Cottle. I think we decided to retardedly get into a back and forth battle and hurt our own chances, and that's what got him out in front to begin with. Nothing against Anthony; he's a very fast driver. He always is. But I think that was more of what created that gap at the beginning, was me and Cottle running side by side for multiple laps. Whereas now, I think Cottle burnt his tires off between battling with me and trying to catch Anthony. So it's a part of it, and I'm sure he'll come in soon. I'm sure everybody's going to be hitting soon. Reports are that the 22 is hitting pit road this time.
That's a 22 of Joey Stotts, a lap down. He's coming down the road now. And Jason O'Connor is now challenging Matthew Albany for 3rd.
And I feel like he'll get the job done. He's got that inside line, but that outside line's probably coming in now. And it looks like Scotty Brown has come down pit road for his pit stop. He is a lap down. Will that benefit for him? I know he was a couple seconds behind the leader. If he can shortcut it, it works out for him. So.
And Jason O'Connor's closed the deal in 3rd. And now we get to see if he'll catch Cottle.
And I did have a short little conversation with my new hire, Joey there. He did catch the wall a couple times. And he's going to probably be about 3 laps down, he said, when he comes back out. But he is going to try to make the best of it. At least that's what I believe he said. It sounded like. So hopefully he can get back out there. Maybe get a decent finish, but we will see. I know I'm disappointed. It's a tough one, and then we'll move on to Darlington next week, where hopefully he'll be able to rebound. I know he's got a strong car headed into that, but we'll see, and hopefully we can get those Dodges in the victory lane here soon. Maybe maybe Darlington, maybe Dover, somewhere around there. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll get there. But as for tonight, it's looking like it's a Chevy versus Ford battle.
Jason Wallet started near the back, and he's been moving through this field, and he's now caught up with Jim Westerfield, challenging him for the 5th spot. And both of them are catching up on the 4th position. Number 43, Matthew Almany. Now we've got 3 cars fighting for position here. 4th, 5th, and 6th place. As Westerfield moves low under Almany, and he's going to move into 4th.
It does look like Dakota has also hit pit road during his time, so like I said, it's about that time. You'll see guys. I'm surprised the field haven't hit pit road already. Anthony Cottle. I know Anthony said he felt like the tires on the car went to absolute crap around 30 laps. So we will see how far he pushes it. It does look like the car's getting a little tight coming out the corners. He is hauling the mail still, and he is pretty much staying steady, it looks like, with Cottle. About the same 2.6 about every lap, so it'll be interesting to see when these guys pit. I know, personally, I was going to pit lap 25 was my strategy. I was going to pit early, get the short pit going, and hopefully get out in front of them and lead some laps, but it didn't work out. So we'll see what happens here between these guys as they hopefully get closer to pit stops here.
Well, we'll be watching them to come into pit road sometime soon. So we're watching Jason Wallet now making a move on Matthew Almany for 5th place, trying the inside line. And doesn't look like it's going to stay.
Yeah, I just feel like at this point in time, if you're on the older tires, the high line's going to work out better. If you're on newer tires, that low line, like it just worked for Scotty Brown, blows right by them all as he tries to run his way back up to the lap.
And here's the leader, Anthony Thitchner, all on his own, coming in now.
And Cottle stays out. O'Connor follows him, stays out. Westerfield looks like he stays out.
Nope.
Willott. So it looks like nobody else is going to join him on pit road. Looks a long way down as he pulls into the very first pit stall. Looks perfect. Going to get the tires on the right side, and they'll come around, get the tires on the left side, and we'll see if Scotty Brown's short pit. Remember, Scotty was close.
Here's Jason O'Connor coming in too, and Jim Westerfield's also coming in. Also Jason Wallet.
And I think we're going to have a new
Thitchner pulls out.
Scotty Brown gets around him. I think Scotty, when it cycles through, you're going to see the gold 2 car in the lead.
There's Jim Westerfield coming into pit. He's in the pits now. Jason O'Connor, Jason Wallet, all in the pits getting service.
Cottle is still out on track running. But I will say the surprise there is Scotty Brown, and he's not out. He's not far out in front of Anthony. He's about half a turn or so, but he is out in front of him, and it will end up making a difference. Matthew Almany hits pit road as Douglas Hess and Trevor Rourke stay out.
And Anthony Fitchner's coming in again.
Oh.
Did he get a black flag? Almany's pulling out now.
It does appear that he was caught speeding. He floored it. Well, not so much floored it, but he hit it a little early, from what he explained to me. And this is going to be black flag, stop and go.
Well, here is John Caudle, the current race leader. Only 3 cars have not pit yet. John Caudle, Douglas Hess, and Trevor Warwick. And here is Scotty Brown driving around Caudle to get back on the lead lap.
Now, we will see how this plays out, if he can get around Caudle, who still has a pit. Yeah, absolutely. Scotty's going to take the lead. When this thing cycles through, Scotty Brown will be your new leader. And Caudle is pushing to the edges of its limits. How far will he go on this tank of gas?
Yeah, you can see him sliding around down there.
Absolutely. Me personally, I probably would have already brought it down, but hey, it's his decision. Nonetheless, it's a long one here tonight, so if you can shorten the amount of times that you're on pit road, it's probably for the best. It does look like it's possible he is going to hit
Caudle's
pit road
coming
this
in.
time.
And so is Trevor Warwick. And Matthew Almany is sideways in turn 2. See, I'm not sure what... I'm not sure if he didn't get disconnected there.
That is the report. And
who did he take out there? Was that Joey Stats?
do what? Which there?
And Matthew Almany went up and took out another car.
Yes, he froze out, disconnected. It was not intentional. It was an iRacing error. And we are actually heavily surprised that iRacing didn't throw the caution. But at the point in time, we couldn't throw the caution either.
And here comes Douglas Hess, the last driver. He was the current leader. He's not going to be anymore as Scotty Brown comes by him, officially taking the lead now.
But nonetheless, Doug led some laps, so that's always good for him. And that's beneficial. Anthony will move to being 1 lap down, so that's beneficial for him, as he is also the first car 1 lap down.
And the car that Almany took out was Trevor Warwick, the number 62 car that's now heavily damaged in pit road.
Yes, that is correct, and it's a shame that it has to happen, and we hate that happened. At the time, we realized that it was then too late to throw a caution, as the period to throw the caution had expired. So we will remain green. Personally, I don't know how iRacing didn't throw that caution. It is it's a shame where we're at with it, but it is what it is. And Douglas Hess moves to the first car 1 lap down. Anthony Fitchner is now going to try to run down Doug Hess and get back on the lead lap the hard way. Or not so much the hard way, but he's just going to try to get back on the lead lap. Scotty Brown remains your leader. Jason O'Connor, second place. So there is a little bit of a change up. I'm not sure what happened. I guess with the amount of time that Cottle spent on track, he lost a lot of ground. I mean, look at what Scotty made up. I believe he was a second to 2 seconds behind Cottle at the time he pitted. Anthony, I'm sure, would have probably been in front of O'Connor and possibly running down Scotty for position, but he had to return to pit road again. Which is a shame, but nonetheless, it's just the way it is, and it really goes to show what fresh tires are going to do for you in this race.
Really, we're not going to know how well this adds up until we see the effect of having one less pit stop.
Absolutely. We know Cottle effectively, by staying out as far as he did, he took away possibly he took away a pit stop. Now, who knows? These guys might have. And
Fitchner's coming into the pits again.
Now, does look like he has a little bit of damage. Not 100% sure on that. We will have to see. But if he does, that's going to be a shame because he is a very, very strong car.
He overshot the box.
Oh. So it looks like he might not have car just auto fixed itself, which we do not have quick repairs, so that's not possible. I'm not sure what's going on there with that. I guess maybe it did have damage. He's sitting here for a while, so.
And John Cottle is now caught up to Jason O'Connor. He's passing him on the inside, coming into turn 3, looking to take second place. And he's going to complete the pass, and is now in second place.
And they are 2 seconds behind Scotty, and of course they will run Scotty down. He is on extremely old tires at this point, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's Scotty's maneuver. And I guarantee you what he'll end up doing is as soon as they catch him, or before they catch him, he'll hit pit road.
Looks like Scotty's coming in now.
There you go. And by doing so, he guarantees that more than likely he will retake the lead through the next cycle of pit stops. As we close in, now just 40 laps away from the halfway point, it's going well. Oh wow! It looked to me like he was going to overshoot the box, but he just gets it in, and looks like they'll be able to service that car. It might be a little bit slower of a pit stop than normal, but they'll get the car serviced, and he is away. That moves Jim Westerfield up to third. Jason Watt is fourth. Scotty Brown is back to fifth. We'll move back a little bit further now that we have guys completing laps. And, there it is. Dakota's up to fifth. I believe Scotty will end up in sixth, 1 lap down. Yes, that is in fact where he is. So John Cottle retakes the lead. Jason O'Connor is in second. Second behind Cottle. We will, of course, now have to see how this all plays out. Does Cottle maybe short hit this one and try to gain that advantage that Scotty had over him? Or does he stay out as long as he can and continue on that strategy? There's so many different things. It's one of the wonderful things about a race this length. But it does look like Anthony Fitchner has parked it. I don't know what's up with it, but it is a shame to see him out of the race. Trevor's out of the race. Matthew looks like he's out of the race. Myself and Joey. So it's a little disappointing to see, but nonetheless, we have 7 cars still out on track, and they are going to put on the best show that they possibly can. And you know, well, at green flag racing, it gets a little hard to talk about things. You get into a rhythm and you don't really say things, or there's nothing really to talk about. But we try our best to keep you guys informed and let you know what's going on.
I have to think in a situation like this, you got to know beforehand. You had an idea of how you're going to schedule your pit stops throughout the race. And I think the most important thing at this point is to just stick with your schedule. You've got this extended green flag run going on here, and this thing could go green flag all the way to the end of the race. And if you just stick to your schedule, then you're at least not going to screw yourself up, because I find that if you try to then adjust your schedule for what the other guys are doing, you end up with something that's not quite as optimal as what you had planned from the beginning.
Absolutely. I know, like I said, my strategy was to come in on lap 25 the first time, and I was probably going to come in on lap every 25th lap. So you're going to have to make a bunch of pit stops in this race. My strategy was to make more of them if I had to, but be on fresher tires because I felt like it was going to be beneficial. As for Cottle's strategy, his is to look to be on pit road as little as he can, and maybe that works out. But I think when you give up the kind of advantage that he gave up to Scotty late in that run, when you do that, maybe you pit 1 or 2 times less than the other person, but I think the amount of time that you lose staying out on track is going to outweigh short pitting and making sure that you're on fresh rubber, because that fresh rubber is huge.
So if I were looking at this race as 200 laps and it's all going green, I would think a nice 33, 34 lap runs helps divide that up into 6 sections. You pit 5 times, nice and consistent, you know, trying to even out the tire wear there. And that's where we are right now, lap 66, 67. So if somebody's on a 5 pit stop plan, I think we should be looking at them to come into the pits anytime now.
Well, I think we should be looking at O'Connor and Westerfield and Watt. Lucky to all be hitting pit road pretty soon. Cottle can go farther. We know that. We know Doug can go farther. Doug went the farthest. So we'll see how this plays out for those guys. But nonetheless, keep moving on, and you do your best. You do what you have to do to make sure that you finish as high as you can, and make sure that you have a chance to be up here with us at the end of this race.
Well, the other alternative, I think, if people are, if these drivers are trying to go with 4 pit stops, they're going to be waiting another about 10 laps here before they're coming in.
And I'm thinking that might be Cottle's strategy. Looks to me like Cottle hit pit road on lap 46. So with that theory, we could go to about lap 92, I want to say. If my math is correct, he can go to about lap 92.
That sounds right to me.
As for Scotty made his first pit stop on lap 26, and then again on lap 59. So actually, it's not even 20 laps. Actually, no, it is. It is. Yes, that's about 25 laps. Scotty over here taking my strategy. As he's going to make the attempt to pass Doug Hess. He's going to get a little loose, but it looks like he's going to carry enough speed. He's going to get around Doug Hess, and he is going to take over the first car 1 lap down. As I take a look at our points over here, Dakota Satellite. That's what it was. That's right. Continuing on, Dakota, our current points leader, is running 5th, top 5, currently 27 seconds behind the leader. He is, of course, with that distance, a chance of going down, as if you follow along, you can see John Cottle in frame every now and then. Jason Willott, his closest competitor, is currently in 4th, and he is 16.3 seconds behind. John Cottle is up in the points battle and has a chance at it. He is winning this race currently, and that is a huge swing for him because he gets 43 points for the win, 1 point for leading the lap, and at this rate, he's probably going to lead the most laps, which will bring another bonus point, and then, of course, 3 more for the win for a total of 14 possible points. With that being said, Dakota, currently running in 5th, I do not believe he has led a lap, will walk away with 30 points. Correct me if I'm wrong, 38 points? 39? 38.
And Cottle's coming around Sadillac right now to put him a lap down. Sadillac hit the wall a little there.
He did, and that's going to end up hurting him. He ended up having to come down pit road and get that fixed. You will see. It doesn't look like it's much, but you never know. Mine didn't think it was much, but it turned out to be a pancake hit. So. Either way, O'Connor, what I like about what he's done, yes, Cottle got around him, but since Cottle got around him, he opened up a 2.7 second lead, and it stayed right about there. It's not a huge margin. It's a margin. It's not huge. Unlike with Jim Westerfield, who fell back to 13.8. And this is not new for anybody who, obviously, the broadcasting portion of it is. Anybody tuning in to see this. Green flag racing such as this is not new to SCR. We went to Atlanta, Vegas, and Auto Club, and actually I completely said that wrong, but Auto Club, Vegas, Atlanta. And those 4 races, they all went green flag with 1 or no cautions. So it's not uncommon for us to have green flag racing. It's been a little while. I'll tell you right now, I'm thrilled to have it back. I hope everybody watching is, because personally, I like the competition that the cautions will bring you, but nothing beats to watch them go around and around on the lead lap and battle as they can under green flag conditions.
Dakota Sadillac is bringing his target mellow yellow car down pit road right now.
Mellow yellow Pontiac. We'll have to work on that to make sure that you know which cars are which.
This is the Pontiac? It has a Chevy logo on it.
Did he ruin my paint scheme? Shouldn't have a Chevy logo on it.
Thought I saw one in the front.
No, it's an STP logo.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yes. No, it is definitely the Pontiac Grand Prix. John Cottle is driving the Ford Fusion. I want to say the Ford Fusion.
And Jason Willott is going to be coming down now.
He is in the Chevy. He is in the Lowe's Chevy.
The Lowe's Chevy.
Yep. John Cottle, of course, is our race leader. I'll give you guys a little rundown of this. John Cottle, your race leader, currently driving the Marines iRacing number 07 Ford Fusion for Slipstream Motorsports. Jason O'Connor is running the U.S. Army, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but he should be running the U.S. Army Ford Fusion. It is listed as the 000, but it should be at the 72 Ford Fusion for Joshua or JRC Racing. I am right, he's running the Army car, correct?
Yes, he is.
Okay. Jim Westerfield driving the number 3 GM Goodwrench, or no, Coca-Cola. I apologize for that. He is running the Coca-Cola Chevrolet for Justin Bland Racing. Scotty Brown in the number 2 Miller Lite Gold Ford Fusion running for Tornado Racing. Douglas Hess running the I don't know what paint scheme because I can't see it. 29 Chevrolet.
He's in a red and white GM Goodwrench.
10-4. He's running GM Goodwrench for Justin Bland Racing. So it works. Number 48, as we mentioned, is the Lowe's Chevrolet for Cone Singleton Racing. Dakota is in the number 42 Pontiac Grand Prix, Mellow Yellow Target Pontiac Grand Prix, and he's running for Matthew Almany Enterprises. Anthony Fitchner, who is currently out of the race, 29 laps down. At least he's sitting on pit road. He is not out of the race, so to say, but is running the or was.
And Jim Westerfield's coming into the pits now.
All right. Anthony Fitchner running the number 8 Budweiser Chevrolet for Matthew Hibbs Racing, I want to say, or Motorsport. Trevor Ward was running the number 62 Texaco Havoline Toyota Camry for Monster Energy Racing. Matthew Almany, who is out of the race, was running the number 43 STP Pontiac Grand Prix for Matthew Almany Enterprises. Joey Stats was running the Bass Pro Shops number 22 Dodge Charger for Guileless Dodge Motorsports. And myself, out of the race, currently in last place, was running the number 9 Dodge Dealers Dodge for Guileless Dodge Motorsports, and that's a lot of Dodges. With that being said, I believe Scotty Brown has made his way around Cottle again, and this is what ends up hurting Cottle because now Scotty's on the lead lap. He hasn't pitted yet, and Scotty's going to be able to get all the way around the track well before Cottle is through making his pit stop.
And just Cottle and Hess remain as waiting to make their second pit stop. So that's really just Cottle that's out there competing with Scotty.
Absolutely, but at this point, O'Connor's made his pit stop. O'Connor is going to gain ground, and I just feel like he's going to end up out in front of Cottle again. This is Cottle's strategy, and I'm all for it. That's his call. That's the call he wants to make. But me personally, I don't see how this is going to work, especially if you get late into the race, and he's miscalculated. If he miscalculates in the slightest, he is completely out of luck in it.
I think the question is, though, when they're going to come in for the next pit stop, because if Scotty Brown's on a shorter schedule, he's not going to be that far behind John Cottle.
Absolutely. Well, I believe Cottle is going to be coming in probably around lap 92 or so. That would be my guess. So maybe Scotty's plan isn't going to work out too well for him because he's going to put himself in a bad position at some point. But the one I would say definitely watch out for is the 000 of Jason O'Connor, who's going to have the perfect opportunity. And it looks like it's possible. Is he going to pull it? Yes. John Cottle is going to hit pit road. Oh, he locks it up coming to pit road. Did he? That would tell me he was coming in a little too hot. Did he make it without getting a speeding penalty? We've seen a few of them tonight. And he slides through the box. Oh. Pit road mistakes could be the thing that cost John Cottle this race. As Scotty Brown does become your new leader in this race, he passes John Cottle while Cottle is on pit road. As Jim Westerfield goes around the outside of Scotty Brown and puts himself back in the lead lap. Doug Hess still has yet to pit. It looks like he's going to possibly push this as far as he can. Maybe he'll be hitting pit road here soon, but nonetheless, he has yet to pit and is not the leader. So it's the other opposite end of Cottle's strategy. This is from starting in the rear and seeing how it works. And you can see O'Connor and Scotty both make it out in front of Hess, who's going to have to pit, and they'll end up back a lap down. But the huge story here is Cottle comes out 14 seconds behind O'Connor or behind Scotty. Now,
yeah, and considering Scotty Brown may have on his schedule an extra pit stop to make, that certainly does seem like Cottle has a good strategy there.
Well, it's possible, but at the same time, you have to think about that. A normal pit stop for Scotty might be 13 seconds at that point. Cottle's so far back after that one pit stop that he's effectively lost the race at that point. If this was a race to lap 100, as it is right now to get to the halfway point, and there's nothing on the line.
Oh, and Brown just hit the wall.
Yes, and that may do it for him. That looked like a hard shot.
Yeah, that did.
He's going to keep it going, but that's... I don't know that he's going to be able to survive that. So look to see O'Connor come up here and take that position away from him. And then we'll see if John Cottle can run O'Connor down at that point, because that is what is going to have to happen. And he's doing it right now. The gap started, it was O'Connor was 8 seconds behind the leader, and Cottle was 14, so it was about a, I want to say 6 second gap. Right? Yeah, 6 seconds. It's now down to 5. So.
And Scotty Brown is still posting an almost 30-second lap time.
And I don't know why he hasn't hit pit road yet at this point. It's damage. It's you got to do it. It's hard. It's tough. I know he wants to get the best finish that he can. He's struggled a lot through his career of racing, and he hasn't had the cars to really get that top 3 finish. And here he is tonight. He's got a car. He was able to run me down earlier. Personally, I was on old tires and warm, but at the same time, he still managed to do it. Nothing taken away from him. He's a fantastic driver, and it's hard because for me, for Scotty, the guys that don't run well consistently.
And Scotty's coming in now.
Scotty is coming in now. But it's just tough when you don't run well so often, and you finally have a car at a track and you're running well and you're doing fantastic, and you just smack the wall and everything, just all the air in your chest gives out, everything gives out, and you just lose all faith in everything, and it's tough. And sometimes you don't recover from that for a few races, and your next few races go poorly. It looked like Scotty was really, really high off of that huge 3rd place finish he had a week ago in the All-Star, but now it's going to be the low of having to damage a race car and having to limp home with what he can. And Scotty's been here before. I've been there before. Many a driver's been there before. It's something you have to learn to live with. It's something you have to learn to overcome, and it's something that I think he will. We'll move on to next week in Darlington as we do reach the halfway point.
And Jason O'Connor's the leader, and he's on this 4 pit stop schedule as well.
I believe he is. I will say Doug Hess absolutely positively is. He is just now coming to pit road as we hit. We're coming to the line to pass the halfway point this time. So one thing you got to add, when you have a green flag racing like this, you know, the session's made for 5 hours. We're halfway through it. It's only been an hour. So it's definitely some good racing here. But I enjoy when we get to go through these quick. It makes our job easier. I enjoy the green flag racing. Sometimes we end up not knowing what to talk about. But it's good racing. And I will say, for Jason, he went to lap 40 on his first pit stop, and to lap 85 on his second. So I believe the second stint was 5 laps longer.
Which is interesting to me. I wonder if you're on that 4 pit stop schedule, why would you push that an extra 5 laps like that? Why wouldn't you go in and get fresh tires knowing that that's just 5 laps less you're going to have to do, like with those worn tires?
Maybe he thought he couldn't make it at that point if he would have stayed on the 40. In fact, I don't think he would have made it on 4 stops at that point. I think he has to run 2 40s and 2 45s to be able to make it. And even then, no. He would have had to run 45 every single time.
No,
Carl's the only one that's going to be able to do it.
Well, a 4-stop schedule of 5 runs is 40 laps each.
Isn't it? Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah, he'd have to, that's okay, I do math. He'd have to go 50 laps to drop another pit stop out of there, and I think that's out of the fuel range.
Well, the fuel range is 49 laps, so theoretically...
Boy, that would be pushing it.
That would be pushing it, but theoretically, if you could save that extra lap of gas, you could do it.
Well, Douglas Hess may be on that schedule, pitting on lap 49 and 99. He may be in a position where he can win this race on fumes.
And that may be his strategy, but who knows? The problem there is...
He's 2 laps back.
He's 2 laps now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little too much to come through. I mean, he's driving around here on these tires an extra 10 laps than everybody else. That's a huge difference. And if they're already pushing it by 40, he's taking it to insane limits by putting it to 50.
I agree. I didn't think anybody'd be able to pull that off, but he's doing it multiple times, and we'll see how it works out. But I don't see him being able to compete the same way with O'Connor and Cottle. I think even if he's there, he's going to get passed so quickly because they're going to end up coming out right behind him. But as we say that, John Cottle has caught Jason O'Connor.
And that's the 29 of Douglas Hess getting one of his 2 laps back. He just got fresh tires 8 laps ago, so...
He does have the freshest on the entire track. But right behind him is the big battle. It's Cottle versus O'Connor. It's the 2 Fords, the Fusions going at it. Marines versus Army. Who's going to come out on top?
Cottle's making his move on the inside.
That Highlander will get a run coming off the corner, though. I wouldn't count O'Connor out just yet. But Cottle is going to get almost clear. Almost clear. O'Connor's going to get the run back, and Cottle will clear him probably midway through the corner. And then, again, O'Connor will get the run on the outside. But I think O'Connor knows at this point in the race, don't push, don't wreck your car, don't wreck his car. You have the strategy that you've played out, and every time you come out, you're a huge distance in front of Cottle. When after this next pit stop, which I think should be the last, no,
there'll be 2 more pit stops for these guys.
Yeah.
Both of these guys have pit twice. O'Connor came in on lap 40 and Cottle on 46. And then O'Connor is 5 laps ahead of Cottle with his stop. So Cottle has 5 laps fresher tires here. And they both need 2 stops remaining to make it the distance.
And maybe that was what O'Connor's strategy was by staying out. Rather than pushing it for extra fuel or whatever. He did it because he knew, yes, he was getting in before Cottle, but he was getting closer on tire wear. Instead of being 10 laps older tires than Cottle, they're only 5. Although I could be wrong too. Don't quote me.
Well, right now, Caudle has a 5-lap advantage as far as the tires are concerned. So Caudle should be able to play it out and end up with slightly better tires in the long run. So O'Connor's going to have his work cut out for him, I think.
But I think at this point, you didn't see everything that O'Connor has. I feel like he gave him a run, but he didn't give him it all. Because why show your stuff early? Why show what you got? Just let him by. You got plenty of time. Let's get this thing done. Go for the win the old-fashioned way and get it done. Well, let's do a quick little rundown of the field here. We move on to lap 115. John Caudle is currently the leader as he tries to attempt to put Douglas Hess back down one lap, or a second lap. He is running again the oh, wow, as we say that, Doug Hess brushes the wall and he almost gets into Caudle, but he is able to keep it off of Caudle. He's able to keep it off of O'Connor. It's just surprising, and everybody gets to drive away, so John Caudle gets to over the lead. So, as we were saying, John Caudle in the U.S. Marines Ford Fusion. He is currently your leader. He is about half a second, actually a quarter of a second ahead of Jason O'Connor in the 000 U.S. Army Ford Fusion. They are both 22 seconds ahead of Jim Westerfield in the number 3 Coca-Cola Chevrolet. Jason Lott, your current second place in the points, is currently running 4th, 23 seconds behind him.
And he's right on his back bumper. He looks to be making a move into 3rd. Or trying to.
He's trying to. I don't know that he's going to be able to get it done. I think they're both on old tires. At this point, Scotty Brown in that Miller Gold Ford Fusion, currently running 5th, one lap down. Dakota, currently in 6th. He is your points leader in the yellow Target Pontiac Grand Prix. Doug Hess, of course, being the last car actually out on track, currently 2 laps down in the number 29 Jim Goodrich Chevrolet. And, you know, it's only fitting. Last week was Veterans Day. And we felt we didn't really get a good chance to put out the theme and make sure that everybody understood it. So this week we came back and we had a 3-part theme, and one of those parts is going to carry over to next week. But this week's theme race was the military appreciation, your soda racing family, and Thanksgiving. Now, Thanksgiving, of course, is next Thursday, so we'll have a race on Saturday in Darlington. So that'll be fun. The Dodge Avenger 400 from Darlington in the great state of South Carolina at the egg-shaped track. Now, here's the one for you, Eric. Do you know why it is an egg-shaped track?
No, I don't.
So, back in the day, back when Darlington was first being thought of, it was first originally considered, it was designed much in the same way that the original Atlanta and Homestead are configured, in that oblong oval, normal oval, not a tri-oval, none of that, just a normal oval. And you can see where they designed it like that. But the land that they had purchased and the land that they were given rights to use was owned by a chicken farm. Now, this chicken farm, at least I think it was a chicken farm. I know it was a farmer of some sort. He owned the land. He sold it off to the, whoever it was that was funding the project and making sure that the track got built. And part of the deal was that when they sold the land to the group that was building the track, was that the minnow pond behind what is now turns 3 and 4 was not to be disturbed. Now, under the shape that they had previously designed the track, the minnow pond would have had to have been filled in, and they wouldn't have been able to do it. So, to meet the requirements, to make sure that the deal went through, they redesigned what is now turns 3 and 4 and pinched it in, and we end up with that oblong egg-shaped track that we have at Darlington that makes it so much fun to race at and is iconic. You don't see any other track in the world like it. It's Darlington, and when you see it, you go, "Oh yeah, absolutely, that's the Lady in Black."
And Dakota Sadalek and Jason Willott have both come into pit here, and they're right on the every 40 lap 4-stop schedule, pitting on lap 120 and 121.
Absolutely, and Scotty last pitted on lap 97. He is 1 lap down, so he's technically still in this, but he needs a caution to really have a chance at it. Now, I'm going to get my old trusty calculator out here, and let's see here. John Cottle last pitted on lap 91. It is currently lap 125, and if we do the math, he pits about every 45 laps, correct?
And Jason O'Connor has come in now, and he's back out.
And that seems to be right on pace for O'Connor. Lap 124 after last pitting on lap, I believe, 85.
That's correct.
49.
So he's on that 40-lap schedule too. And these cars will need to come in once more around lap 162.
I believe that should be the final pit stop. Absolutely. Yeah, yes. O'Connor did make a 39-lap stop. I apologize.
Well, Cottle last pitted on lap 90, so he doesn't have enough to go just one more stop. He will need 2. So he'll need 1 imminently, and then 1 probably a little later than that, maybe like 165 to 170 range. So he's looking to end the race with much, much better tires than he started it with on average.
But that's also on par with, because before O'Connor made this pit stop, he still had 2 to go. So he's still on par. Yes, he has 2 stops to go, but he's right where he wants to be at this point. And I say expect Cottle about 136. That would line him up if he continues with this strategy of 45 laps per pit stop or per run. That would line him up to stop at 181 for one final time. Now, me personally, on that final pit stop, because he's been struggling sometimes to catch up for about almost 20 laps, it seems like sometimes, I don't know that I'd push it that far. I might stop earlier and give up the fresher tires, knowing that everybody else is going to have to stop around 160, 170.
Well, rather than push the tires, at that point you have 65 laps left. You push the tires to 45, and then you have only 20 laps with the last tires. I think that just doesn't make sense. And here comes Cottle.
So, with that being said, he goes, can you pull out the trusty calculator?
He's got 70 laps left.
Even. He went 40 laps even. So he did drop it. Normally, the first 2 stops, he went 45 both, and then this time 40. So we'll see how this plays out, and if it works for him.
Which I think makes sense, because otherwise you end up on 40-lap-old tires when you don't need to be.
Right, and at that point, how does... Oh, I guess because of where he hit it this time, if he goes another 40, he drops 10 laps. He doesn't run the same 10 laps that he ran, or he would have ran, and he's then coming back out with about 30 laps left to go. And as we said, that's about the point where the tires tend to fall off to a point that they are absolutely pitiful.
Jason O'Connor, though, is our new leader, and he's out in front of Caudle by about 6 seconds now, and both of these drivers are only going to need one more stop between here and the end. The difference is Caudle is in a position where he's going to have slightly fresher tires almost all the time.
Absolutely, and that was his strategy. It works out to benefit him that he has fresher tires at the end of the race, and that's not a bad thing. Me personally, I like fresher tires as soon as I can get them. That's how I do it, and it would end up costing me in this situation. I don't think I'd be up there battling. Maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't. Who knows? Can't tell you. I'm out of the race, so it doesn't matter. But my strategy certainly would have been different from both of them, and I would have been, who knows, I might have been a lap down. If I hit my marks every time, it could have been a different story. We don't know. It's a sad fact that I wrecked the car, and I move on. But these guys are putting on a great race. I'm so thrilled that we're able to have this green flag run of 135 laps now, given we probably should have had a stoppage for that incident between the 43 and the 62. iRacing didn't decide to throw the caution, and we failed to throw the caution. And because of this, we are still in the green. That is on us. It does happen. Mistakes are made, and we have to move on. So it's not what I want to say, but it's the general fact of it. We try to get them right whenever we can, but the sad truth is nobody's going to get it right at every time.
John Caudle has closed the gap by over a second, now only 4.6 seconds behind Jason O'Connor. So here you see the difference in those fresher tires, as he's running almost a half a second faster. In fact, he is running a half a second faster on that last lap.
Does not surprise
me. So he's going to catch up here in about 8 laps. And Jason O'Connor isn't going to be looking to pit again for over 20 laps. John Caudle should have well moved in first by then.
Absolutely. Now, the issue is Caudle does look like he has lap traffic in front of him. So the question is, now that they are lapped, are they just going to move over for him?
And he's just moving right by him.
Absolutely. So they probably did hamper him a little bit. He wasn't able to run 3 and 4 the way he probably would have liked to.
But he's still almost 4/10 of a second faster than Connor.
Exactly, and that is going to play a huge difference. And O'Connor absolutely, positively, if he's going to run the 40-lap strategy the way he has been, cannot hit before lap 160 or 161, because if he does, then he's running farther than he wants to. Now, that's his decision.
Caudle's tires are only 7 laps fresher than O'Connor. Would you really expect this much of a difference in lap times?
Yes.
It's right at that fall-off point?
I believe so. It's just the way it works, and sometimes tires aren't the best, and you have to suffer through it. But I think O'Connor's got a shot at this. What O'Connor might be hoping for at this point, they get to lap 180, 185, and a caution comes in. And at that point, even if Caudle's been out there, if Caudle comes down at 181, if he puts it 40, or even if he comes in, actually, if he stays out till about 185 and the caution comes out, he comes down, and then him and O'Connor are on the same exact set of brand new, fresh rubber. And at that point, then it becomes fun. But for now, it's looking like it's Cottle's race. So O'Connor, I guarantee you, is wanting caution. Cottle wants it to go green all the way to lap 200. The question, of course, becomes this time, who gets it?
And here's Cottle looking to make his way around Jason Wallet. This puts, I mean, Wallet's already a lap down, so this is right here the lap separating second and third place. And now Cottle's just 1.2 seconds behind Jason. I mean, you really have to think that Cottle's in the driver's seat here. He's got the tires, he's got the speed here, he's gonna pass O'Connor, and he's got a better tire situation going from now to the end of the race. Just to take a strategy of wait till O'Connor pits, give him another 2-3 laps on your tires after that, then go get the freshies and ride it home.
Absolutely, he's 100% made the right decision in this race in terms of strategy, and it looks like it's going to work out for him. And there's, that's the way strategy races work. That's the way green flag races work. And yes, that caution probably would have thrown a wrench in it, but I don't think it would have changed it too much. Either way, it is once again, as Cottle runs down on O'Connor, it is once again the U.S. Marines Ford running hard to catch the U.S. Army Ford. It is the Ford show tonight. The Dodges were trying to get up there. The Chevys had a car to compete. The Fords have really been successful here today, and have been since. They've been pretty successful this season. Sure, the Chevys. It's been the Chevy and Ford show really this season. The Dodges managed to win at Daytona. That was it. BMW's won a couple races. Toyota and Pontiac so far are the only two manufacturers that have not walked away as race winners. As we had a fantastic maneuver as Cottle got around O'Connor, and then O'Connor made the switchback, as what I think is happening right now. O'Connor is running Cottle down at a much harder rate or pace to try to wear Cottle's tires off some and make Cottle pit before he wants to.
Although Cottle, I think, has the better tires at the moment. I mean, clearly there's seven laps better on him.
Look at what he did. He just went around the outside and said, all right, I'm done here. Bye-bye.
And we can expect Cottle to keep pulling away from O'Connor as he just kept closing the gap before. So at this point, all he's got to do, I mean, barring a caution, which would equalize the playing field, Cottle's just got to run a nice, consistent laps and wait for O'Connor to pit.
Absolutely, and it'll be interesting to see what happens here. But at this point, we know that essentially at this point in the race, it's Cottle or O'Connor that is going to walk away your win. The only way that is going to change is if they both run. But at this point, one of those two currently is going to walk away your win. This means that we'll now be looking ahead to next Saturday at 9 o'clock Eastern. Actually, we'll probably go live probably about 8:45 or so, 8:40, somewhere in there, for the Dodge Avenger 400 from Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina. I personally, I'll be joining you late once again next week, but this time it won't be from wrecking the car. It will be because I won't make it home in time to start the race. And then the following week, we'll be at Dover for the Dodge Dealers 400. And I will be in that race. So you'll be without a partner.
I'm planning to be right here on Saturday nights for the time being.
Absolutely. I worked out some things and should hopefully have a little more free time on weekends. Hopefully. It's that time of the year though when you work retail and it's just you got to deal with working weekends because they need it, and I understand it. And it sucks that I have to miss the race, but quite frankly, if missing the race means that we have funding, then I miss the race. We actually have plenty of funding. Let me rephrase that. We have plenty of funding because I'm sure Todd's going to watch this and he's probably going to go, "How did you spend all of it?" We still have plenty, Todd. We're good. It's always nice to have some bonus funding and being able to possibly host practice runs and put up some pots for the races and put out some payouts. It's fun to have a little extra side cash that we can work with and hopefully manage to make everything a little bit better.
Douglas Hess came into pit on 149, right on his 50-lap schedule. He seems to be a lap shy of that, though. I don't know if he's going to be on fumes at the end of the race. Maybe he's just hoping for a caution and he can get away with only one more. But he's 3 laps down at this point, so that's just an interesting strategy.
It's a strategy that has worked for him. He's been able to keep the car clean, and he's going to walk away with a top 10 finish. I mean, quite frankly, everybody that's on track is going to walk away with a top 10 finish. The only two that will not be walking away with top 10 finishes, sadly, are the 2 Dodges. So, not too thrilled with that. But Joey ran into some issues, and I'm glad he was able to fill in and move into that 22 car. I'm thrilled to have him. Absolutely fantastic. We were able to do practice for Darlington a couple weeks ago, and he had one of the fastest cars in practice. So I am looking forward to what that 22 Caterpillar Dodge, I hope he's running the Caterpillar Dodge next week, that'd be awesome, can do at the Southern 500. Or not, well, not the Southern 500, the Dodge Avenger 400. I do apologize. I had to get that right. There's a lot of Dodges in there, and it gets a little confusing at times, but we are closing in on that mark. We're about 3 laps away from where O'Connor can absolutely positively make it on 40 laps. Now, if he wants, he could pit right now, and he's only got 42 laps to go, 43 laps to go. And he can make it. But do you want to do that? Maybe you want to push this thing as far as you can this time. You're still going to get that benefit of being out in front of Cottle, the short pitting grants you. But if you can push it a little bit further, you might have fresher tires, and you might be able to compete a little bit better than you did the last time. I know him pushing it to 161 is a 43, I think, lap for him. I want to say. Last pitted on 124.
Well, we're coming up here on the 160s, which for the people who are on the 4 pits is going to be their last stop. I expect Jason Wallet to come down next lap and Dakota Sadilek perhaps about the same time.
And actually, if O'Connor pits on lap 161, it's only 37 laps that he's run on this set. So maybe he can push it a little further. Maybe he takes the risk and tries to get really close to Cottle. As long as he's within 2 seconds, I think if he can pit 3 laps ahead of Cottle, he could possibly have a chance at it.
And Jim Westerfield is coming down the pit lane.
As is Jason Willard. Well, not at this point.
Jason O'Connor.
O'Connor is hitting pit road.
He is.
So there you go, 161. Just as I called it, he knows what he has to do to get to the finish. He is going to go 40 laps on the last set of tires. Actually, correction, he's going to do 39 laps.
And I would expect to see Sadilek hitting the pit road.
And this, of course, will change the points. What I will try to do is I'll try to have that ready to go so that as soon as we're done here, I can get that inputted and we can get an updated look at the points.
Jason O'Connor coming back out on track now after his stop. And now how many laps until we see Caudle come down for his final stop?
I'm going to go with 171.
I mean, that's going to put him in a real good position. I mean, he's what, a lap and a half above, ahead of O'Connor right now?
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, you could even see how much that diminishes. What are you losing when you take a pit? It's about one whole lap, right?
About a lap and a half, actually. So it's right around O'Connor's going to come out, but what you got to remember is O'Connor's on fresh tires right now. Caudle's running like 29-second laps right this second. Right, he's running it. His last lap was a 29.6. Let's see what it is this time crossing the line. And it's a 29.5. Now, if you flip over to O'Connor, who is now already closed the gap a little bit, it's no longer a lap and a half. O'Connor this time by 27.9. So he is running a second and a half at least faster than Caudle is. So it makes a huge difference when you think about it. I mean, there's no question about what this does when you have that fresh rubber, and that's the difference. And I feel like O'Connor has been trying to take advantage of it as best he can, but quite frankly, it's not been able to work for him.
Dakota Sadilek heading out after his stop. Rejoins the field at the end.
Because not much is left in this race, though. We are closing in on the 30 to go mark. John Caudle remains your leader. Will he do it? Will he pit with 30 to go like I think he will? If he does, that is 2 laps away. Now, if he wants to push it, which he can, he could push it to 45, or he could even push it to 49 like Doug did. He could push it as far as he can.
Well, he's already past the halfway point for this last section, so he's definitely saving the best tires for the end.
Absolutely. He's good to the end at this point. He's going to be on the freshest tire. But how far do you risk it? How late do you push it? How much ground you let O'Connor gain on you before you decide enough is enough? I got to come down now. O'Connor's going to get too much ground, and I might not be able to make it up. And there it is. He's going to come down. He's going to come down on lap 170. He'll cross the line. It'll be 171 when he gets in his pit box. So he'll have 30 laps on this last set of tires. I think he was might have been listening to me at some point. That'd be a first for Caudle, listening to what I have to say about strategy. But I did throw a curveball in there for him. I accidentally hit the race button and put my car back out on track. So he's going to try to pit between me and Anthony. And that is hilarious. O'Connor is back on the lead lap, and we'll see. O'Connor is going to get around Caudle right there. And how far ahead will O'Connor be by the time Caudle is up to speed? 30 laps to go. By the time Cottle catches O'Connor, it's going to be close.
Well, this gap is almost to 8.5 seconds now, and it may be closer to 9 by the time Cottle gets 100% up to speed.
Right.
And there's less than 30 laps left.
It's exciting. I love a good strategy race. Now, Cottle played this exact same strategy in Atlanta. The issue was, when we did it at Atlanta, he had to contend with 4 cars instead of just one other car. And the issue there was, one of those cars played a slightly better strategy. And I think Cottle took that. I think because the car that ended up winning in Atlanta, which was Stephen Massey, didn't run the full fuel tank. Cottle did at Atlanta. And it ended up, he wasn't able to catch him at the end. Now, I think Cottle realizes, pit a little earlier, make sure you have time, and run him down. I mean, he put 10... This time, this specific time, it's 10 laps difference on the tires. It's not 7, it's not 5, it's 10 laps difference. Fresher tires, and Cottle's already knocked a second off.
And if you remember, when he had 7 laps fresher tires, he was gaining almost 1.5 seconds each time around the course, and that would be wiped out in 5 laps at this point if he maintained the same pace of gain. And there's 25 laps in this race.
So absolutely, at this point, O'Connor wants caution.
I have to think that's the only chance O'Connor has of winning this race, is if he can get a caution, because then he can get fresh tires, and it doesn't matter if he starts 4 or 5 cars behind.
Absolutely, and we will see how it plays out. Cottle is now down to 6.8. I don't think he's taken out as much of a chunk this time. He's not taken out full seconds, but he is coming close to taking out full seconds. So it's going to be interesting. I think Cottle catches him with about 12 to go. I might be wrong, but I'll probably be wrong. We will see. Cottle did have to contend with some lap traffic there for a little bit. We'll see if that hampered him at all. But nonetheless, this has turned out to be fantastic. I love a good green flag race. We're just 23 laps away from green flag for the entirety of the race. And yes, it means that we end up with few guys on the lead lap, which is disappointing. I hate having to say that we only have 2 guys on the lead lap, but I will say I enjoy having 2 guys on the lead lap when it's caution-free than I ever would want to say that we only have 2 guys on the lead lap because everybody wrecked.
But we're still waiting for this fight for the win, because Cottle's got the better tires, but he's still 4.5 seconds behind Jason O'Connor.
And O'Connor just put Douglas Hess between the 2 of them. Now, given Doug will probably move over. He's not going to be the guy that's going to ruin the leader's race. He's not going to do anything like that. But if Cottle catches him in the wrong place at the wrong time, it doesn't matter if Doug moves out of his way. It's still going to hinder it. It's still going to slow him down, and it's going to make all the difference. And what O'Connor is hoping for is that, yes, Cottle has 10-lap fresher tires, but there's still a point where those tires fall off and are just horrible to drive on. And he's hoping that Cottle reaches that point before he gets to O'Connor. And to be honest, Cottle is still, like I've said, Cottle is still running him down, absolutely, but he's not running him down the same. Cottle that time unhindered, nobody in front of him, not lap traffic anywhere near him. 0.5, as compared to the previous lap where he was a full second. So it's all on what Cottle's doing, and he once again 5/10, 6/10 or so. But he's caught Hess, and it was in a precarious position. He had to run the bottom line all the way through the corner. Now, it won't kill him too much, but it might kill him enough.
I wonder, too, if Cottle's not just running these tires a little soft right now, playing them easy, saving it, making sure that he has enough if he needs it, if it comes down to it, to get around Jason O'Connor.
Nothing against Cottle, but that doesn't sound anything like the man. That man has one speed, and it is go. He is Charlie Sheen hyped up on cocaine. That sounds about right. No, Cottle just likes to drive. He's a good driver. There's nothing wrong with it. We do move to 17 to go, and it's 1.7. So maybe not 12 laps, but I think I was pretty close with my prediction of I thought it would take Cottle a little longer to catch O'Connor this time, and I think I might be right because at this point, O'Connor is giving it everything. He's showing you everything that he has. You know, this race, to put in terms of the way I would like to say, he's been Vegeta in Dragon Ball. He's been about Vegeta for the last little while, just in base form, you know. And then after the third pit stop, is Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. Now he's Super Saiyan God Vegeta. And I'm only using Vegeta because I prefer Vegeta. Cottle, on the other hand, from the get-go, has been Super Saiyan God Goku. Actually, Super Saiyan Blue. I apologize. Super Saiyan Blue. I will get so much heat for screwing that up. But yes, Super Saiyan Blue for both of them. That is where they're at this point. They're going head-to-head, full power, everything that they have. They're going to throw it at one another, and it's going to be fun to watch as we're closing in 13 to... I'm off by 1 lap. I said Cotto would catch him by 12. He catches him with 14 to go. I apologize. I'm off by 2 laps. But still, that's hilarious. And Cottle's going to look to the inside. He's going to make the move as they come down the backstretch. He's going to get him on the inside, and he's going to clear him through the middle of the corner. He lets off, and he closes the door, and I think that's going to be all she wrote. Super Saiyan Blue Goku is going to probably drive away from Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta at this point. My analogies are ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Cottle will get a laugh out of that. He's a Dragon Ball fan as well. I feel like I'm going to end up having to put a Vegeta or a Goku on his car from this point on. Who knows? He might have kicked it into another gear. He might now be Ultra Instinct Goku. That's probably what he's hoping for. But it's been a great race. We're down to 11 to go, and it's been caution-free. Now, there's still that chance that maybe we get a caution here. Maybe there's the caution throws a huge old monkey wrench into this, because with only 2 cars on the lead lap, I guarantee you both of them are pitting. So it'll be fun to see what happens. Hopefully it goes green. I want to see it go green. Let's run these final 11 laps under the green flag and get out of here. And the Coke 600 in record time, and this in an hour and 45 minutes. That'd be epic. I mean, seriously, 200 laps, hour 45 minutes. That'd be huge. So, in the end, O'Connor's strategy just came up short. He made a good call. It was the right way to run it. Maybe I think you pushed that last segment a little bit further than he did. That was the shortest segment he ran all night at 37 laps. And I think at that point, you pit and you're going to run 40 on that final segment versus Cottle, who's only running 30. I think you hurt yourself a little too much. If he pushes it to 45 laps at that point, I think he gets the advantage over Cottle and keeps fresher tires. And maybe that was the way to go, but O'Connor made his bed. He's going to lie in it. He's a great driver, and he's going to walk away from this with a second place as long as everything stays the course. And Cottle just played it perfectly. He played the strategy to a T, and we'll see if this holds up for the final 8 laps.
I also, just from watching this, it seems like Cottle is putting in better laps than O'Connor. So it's not, I think, just the pit strategy that's making the difference here. I think we're actually getting better lap times out of here. And that's what it is when you have these cars spread all over the racetrack. It's not so much dealing with traffic. It's not so much out driving. It's about who can sit there and put down the most consistent lap over and over, 20, 30, 40 laps at a time.
Absolutely, and you look through the field, and you got guys back here, and they're running their hardest, they're running the best that they can, and there's nothing wrong with it, and their strategy didn't play out, and strategy is going to play a huge factor in these kind of races. Yes, absolutely, as we might actually have another slight little battle. Jason Lalott is catching the 3 of Jim Westerfield, and that is for position. That's for the final step on the podium. Now, the sad news there would be if Jason pulls out that 3rd place, and it'd be cool to see him do it. It'd be fantastic. It'd be his best finish of the year, I believe. He wouldn't be able to join us as he has no mic. So there would be that downside. The upside would be having a 3rd place finish, and that'd be fantastic for him. So either way, it is a fantastic battle brewing here. As Cottle has moved out to 2 seconds, he's got this thing in the bag. It's well and done. These guys back here, though, with about 3 laps to go, or 4 laps to go at this point, they're close. It's going to be good. They like I said, they got about 4 laps to go, and it's going to be intense here.
Yep, and that's with 4 laps to go now that time around.
Cottle at this moment in time takes the stripe to make it 3 to go. And as that happens, Lalott is going to look to the inside. He's going to make his move. Westerfield gets the run on the outside. They are neck and neck.
Just beat him to the stripe, Lalott.
And Lalott's going to have that inside line through 1 and 2. But can Westerfield make the comeback on the outside, the faster lane? He will. They're going to stay neck and neck. And this is a fantastic battle, as I believe John Cottle is going to come through 1 and 2. He's got and take the halfway point for this, with 2 laps to go. He's looking to finish it off. They are neck and neck again, though, for the 3 and the 48.
Dead heat on that.
It's fantastic racing, and we'll try to make sure that we get Cottle crossing the line. But this racing right here, these guys fired it up right at the end, right when they needed to. John Cottle has taken the white flag. He has one more time. He's through turns 1 and 2. He is right behind Scotty Brown, and I'm sure he will ride behind him all the way to the finish. As the 40 is going to push up, he's going to lose ground, and the 3 is going to retake the position, and he's got him clear. How will they do? It's fantastic racing. Cottle's coming out of 4 for one final time, and he is going to come across the line. Your winner at the Coke 600, John Cottle. Jason O'Connor finishes second. Who will come third in this heated battle as they come through 3 and 4? The 48 takes the inside line. The 3 is on the outside. The 48 is going to slide up. The 3 is going to take him on the outside. The 3 is going to finish in 3rd place with the Coca-Cola Chevrolet beating out the Lowe's Chevrolet in what was absolutely a fantastic, spectacular finish. Too bad it couldn't have been for the win, but it was for 3rd place in that final step on the podium. What a race, what a race. Fantastic racing, absolutely. Congratulations to the Marine Corps for joining John Cottle on the hood of that car, and he is going to victory lane here at the Coke 600, the World 600, whatever you want to call it. he has taken it to victory lane in one of the biggest races of the season. That is his second victory this year after coming first at Talladega.
Caudill wins today with pit strategy and ending up with the fresh tires at the end of the race in order to take that lead back with room to spare. Just running good, consistent laps and good laps, the best laps.
Absolutely, and that was some of it was just some of the most strategic racing, and it was fantastic to watch. But it was so much fun to see, and I enjoyed it. I hope everybody at home enjoyed it. We'll get John Caudill, Jason O'Connor, and Jim Westerfield up here in the booth, and we'll make sure that they get to have their time in the spotlight. Jim Westerfield, Nick Atlas in the ARAN broadcast booth. You came home in third in the number 3 Coca-Cola Chevrolet. How did it feel in what was probably some of the most exciting racing of the entire night for those final 4 laps?
Yeah, me and the 48 were definitely putting up a good battle. I had a good car on the high side on the long run, so I wanted to stay there. I didn't want to give him that spot.
Absolutely, and it was fantastic. It was, like I said, some of the best racing I've seen all night. And what do you think about 200 laps and not a single caution? I think we probably should have had one there earlier in the race, but to go green flag for the whole race and to be able to walk away third, I take it your strategy didn't play out the way you exactly wanted it to.
No, and the wall had something to do with that. I hit the wall a couple times and definitely damaged my car, which I got it fixed under the 4 pit stops, but definitely slowed me down a little bit.
And so you were one of the guys that decided 4 pit stops was the way to go.
Yeah, I wanted to try to do that. It definitely worked out. I was really close there at the end, though.
Absolutely. And before I let you go, Eric, you got any questions for Jim here?
No, I'm just going to let the master handle it tonight.
All right. Well, Jim, congratulations on that 3rd place finish, the bottom step of the podium. Maybe not where you probably wanted, but I'm sure you'll take it either way as you bring the Coca-Cola Chevrolet home in a nice 3rd.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Jason O'Connor.
Yes, sir.
It's Nick Atlas in the broadcast booth. How are you feeling? 2nd place for the U.S. Army Ford Fusion.
I'm pretty tired. I'm not going to lie. That's a long race without any cautions.
It is. And you played the strategy to the best of your ability. And do you think maybe you should have possibly came in slightly later on that last pit stop, or do you think that was the shot and that was the only way you were going to do it, is if you came in at 161?
I knew I had to go in a lot earlier than I had before, and John was talking in Discord about how he didn't want to have that many laps on his tires, so I thought, well, let's see what happens. So I gave it a shot, but that 10 extra laps on tires made a big difference.
Absolutely, and that's what we were talking about the entire time there as you were making that run, and it was just kind of like, you're running 40 laps, that 10 laps, and what got me on it was I would have thought you saw it. Every time he pitted, he added a few extra laps over you. The first time it was 5, the second time it was 7, the last time it was 10. And each time it seemed like he was a little bit faster with each pit stop. So you probably made the best move that you could, and I don't doubt it. But maybe that's something you learn going into or looking.
Yeah, when you got a long run like that, it's really hard to think of a good strategy and be fast at the same time. But I think it all went well, and I would have liked to have had a shot at Caudill on the same set of tires, but it was a good race.
Absolutely, and we knew that. We knew for a fact that was what you were hoping for, was to have a caution to get that shot at him on fresh rubber. But nonetheless, 200 laps under the green flag. You led 43. You walk away with 43 points in this race. So good job nonetheless. Eric, you got any questions? I know you said you let me handle it, but you got any for him? No? Okay. Well, Jason, congratulations on the second place finish, and we will move on from there. Next week is Darlington. Hopefully we'll see you back. I know life is possibly taking you in a different direction, but congratulations tonight on the second place, and very well run.
Thank you, Nick. I really appreciate it. And thank you, Eric, for helping put this on. And it was a good race. Appreciate it.
And thanks for the great show, Jason.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you, bud.
Sorry, I had the wrong key set.
Absolutely. So, John, we've made our way down. We're no longer in the broadcast booth. How does it feel being here in one of the most storied victory lanes in all of NASCAR? Welcome to the Coca-Cola 600 Victory Lane at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. How do you feel right now?
I think I need a Dr. Pepper.
As you may know, John Cottle is the leading force for the Dr. Pepper racing family. Unlike real life, we actually have a Pepsi and Dr. Pepper racing family to go along with the Coca-Cola. Cottle is your flagship driver for Dr. Pepper. So, with that being said, we'll try to get you a Dr. Pepper, but you ran the strategy you wanted and it worked out. What were you thinking when it just stayed green and you're like, I get to run my race. I get to run it the way I want to run it?
I was just thinking, man, I hope this goes green because I think I got a strategy that can win it finally. And I'm glad the strategy worked out, but that last run, I got scared, man. He had 8 seconds on me. I was like, I hope his tires fall off a little bit more than I think they are. But luckily they did.
Absolutely. And you know, you've been running as best you can. You've now overtaken Trey Hoovler, who has stepped away in the points. You are currently 4th. You are the highest of the drivers that haven't run every race. In fact, Dakota is the only race that the drivers that run every race, actually. Yeah, he's the only one that's run every race. Jason missed Richmond, and Matthew missed a race. So those 3 are in front of you, Dakota, Jason, and Matthew. You are currently 58 points behind them. You think you're going to catch them?
Man, if we can keep the momentum from this race going the rest of the season, I think we can do anything.
Absolutely, and it was a heck of a race. So before we sign off, you got anybody you want to thank?
Man, I like to thank Ashley and Brantley, and I like to thank the team to put the car together, man. They did an awesome job. And I like to thank my parents. Man, it feels good to be in victory lane again here in SCR.
Absolutely, man. And congratulations on winning Talladega. We weren't there for that, to broadcast that. And congratulations tonight in that U.S. Marines Ford Fusion. That's got to feel special. 1 week after Veterans Day, and here at the Coke 600 under the lights, it's got to feel nice getting that victory for the Marines.
Heck yeah, it does, man. We tried to put it in victory lane at the All-Star race, but it just wasn't meant to be. We come out this week and we grab the checkered. I mean, can't ask for no more than that. Had a good car at the All-Star race, come back out and repeat. What a good car.
And we move on to what I will say, and I know it. I know you're going to say it as soon as I say it. One of your favorite tracks next week.
Mine. All mine, baby.
Eric, in case you don't know, this man absolutely, positively loves headed to Darlington.
Well, that's a fun track to race at. So if you love it and you're going to come out here, then this is going to be a real fun, exciting race to watch.
And we do know from the practice that we had that you will have some competition from a Dodge more than likely, as long as he's there.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a little bit of competition. I'm not going to take it away from anybody. I think every race we come out here, there's always competition. Every race. But my number one goal every race is to put this number 7 in victory lane.
Absolutely, man. And it's a fantastic job. You put it in victory lane here tonight. Absolutely fantastic. And once again, you are a 2-time winner here. I believe you're the only remaining well, actually, you and Christian are the only remaining multi-time winners still here. The only other multi-time winner was Trey, and he had some disagreements. So that is his decision, and we will carry on. Either way, you have 12 bonus points on the air. You have been doing a heck of a job, and you will continue, I'm sure of it, as we head into next week. Hopefully Slipstream is ready to go. You guys get a short drive down to Darlington.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Man, I also got to say one thing. I did a little bit of a tribute to Dale Jr. when he won the Daytona 500, went around the track and just smashing the throttle back and forth.
Yes, absolutely, and it's fantastic. We'll look to see you next week at the odd-shaped Darlington Raceway. It's a special track nonetheless, and I know you will be ready to go. I'm ready to go. Everybody's ready to go. Let's do this.
Let's do it now. Let's go ahead. We got it.
Absolutely, it's fired up. Who's ready for Darlington?
It's not a long drive. We'll drive the race cars there. We're good to go.
Absolutely, we'll broadcast the race on live TV. We'll get the police to stop the roads, and we'll have
race to the track. We'll race to the track.
We'll race to the track. We'll do it old school. We'll race to the track, put new rubber on the cars, change the oil, change the brakes, and hop right back out there, run 400 miles.
I also got to say one more thing. Thank you, Eric, for doing the broadcast. I know it's not convenient every week, but thank you for doing the broadcast.
Oh, no problem. The learning curve's pretty steep, and tell you the truth, I think Nick does a lot better job than I do in the commentary, but I'm learning the technical side, and maybe we can get a team going here, and there's some exciting racing on the track, and you just keep putting the exciting racing out there, and that'll be what people come watch.
And to be fair, Eric, having a few years of experience in broadcasting and broadcasting races kind of helps a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's something I'm certainly lacking. So
you'll get there, my friend, and once you do, it'll come to you, and you won't just be in demand by us. You'll be in demand by other leagues, and at that point, it'll be a lot of fun for you. And I'm happy to have you. I'm glad to have Cottle here. Cottle, Victory Lane here at Charlotte, and we'll move on to Darlington. Congratulations, Sean, and we'll see you next week. So, before we say goodbye, let us cover the point standings. I don't think you can pull it up. I don't know if you have that option, but nonetheless, Dakota Cadillac is your current points leader. He leads by 11 points over Jason Willott, who is second. Matthew Albany is in third, 33 points behind. John Cottle is fourth, 58 points behind. Ian Hayes is currently in fifth. We're going to go ahead and move this up and remove Trey Hoofler from it. Ian Hayes is in sixth. He is 154 points behind. Jason O'Connor is seventh, 162 points behind. Josh Susi is eighth, 185 points behind. Stephen Massey is ninth, 191 points behind. Scotty Brown is 10th, 191 points behind. Stephen's 187. I said 91. Joshua Gaiman, 191 points behind, is 10th. And myself in 11th, 197 points behind. So.
And we have that up on the stream now, those standings.
Oh, sweet. Absolutely. You got the Dan Lease up there? Or you figured it out? Either way, it doesn't matter. You got it figured out. I'm happy to have it up there. That's fantastic news. And I'm thrilled with this. I'm so happy to have you on board, Eric. And we'll move on next week to the oblong egg-shaped track because nobody wanted to disturb a minnow farm or minnow pond, which is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. But hey, we got one of the most iconic tracks in the history of the world, and it's wonderful. And I can't wait to be here next week and join you in the broadcast booth once again. And then the following week, we head over to Dover. And next week, I'll try to have a little commentary for you, a little information about the Dover Motor Speedway if we can. And it'll be fun to see what transpires at Darlington next week, as it is going to be fun. It's going to be late afternoon. The sun's going to be setting, and quite frankly, it could put on some of the best racing we've seen all year. It's going to be hard to top Charlotte, though. That was some fantastic racing right there at the end. And either way, we will now thank Rock Solid Technologies for coming on board and being our sponsor this season. ARAN, obviously you, Eric, for coming on and doing this. Thank Dell for myself for making a great computer. I don't know who makes your computer, but absolutely we got to give a shout out to our computers for being such great computers. Logitech for making the great wheels, Fanatec for their wheels, all these guys and all the equipment that they have. We're so thankful that these companies and these products are out there that make this racing great. And last but not least, certainly the most important aspect and the biggest thing for what we do and how we do it, iRacing. Without iRacing, we wouldn't be able to put on the racing that we do in the form that we do, and it's absolutely fantastic. So Eric, thank you for joining us and being on board this. And it's going to be tough, I know that, but nonetheless, I'm happy to have you on board, and we'll move on to Darlington next week, and I'll see you then.
Well, if you're happy to have someone here who has much to learn, I'm happy to be here and learn. So we'll see you next week, and for more good racing at Darlington. It's a track where the racing can be intense and a lot of fun, and we got a good group of drivers here. So I think we're going to see a lot of fun racing, and you'll definitely want to come back and watch it.
Absolutely. And with that being said, we'll say goodbye. This has been a broadcast of the ARAN Automotive Racing Authority Network and Super Championship Racing. Until next time, guys, we'll see you later.